Hi guys, I would wish to take you through uh, computer studies practical, the year 2018, that is for the candidates. Therefore, this is the 2018 paper. Therefore, we shall go straight to the question. Therefore, in a school, students reside in 3 dormitories, red, blue, and orange. Each dormitory is managed by a patron, and each student is required to register for a game. Open a database program and create a database named School Games that would be used to manage the games. Watermark. Create the tables named Student, Patron, Dormitory, and Game in the database created in one using the following specifications. Therefore, table student or student table, field name, we have the field name and description. Therefore, you have student number. It should contain unique registration code. Then we have student name, then game code, dorm code. Then we have the patron table. We have the patron code. We have patron name. Then we have the dormitory table. We have dorm code, dorm name, and patron code. Then we have game table. We have the game code and game name. Therefore, we are supposed to create the relationships, 3 marks, that is among the tables. Then create a form for each table that will be used for data entry, 2 marks. Then enter the following data into the respective tables. Therefore, we need to capture this data, and it is very important to see this data first before you create the tables so that you can identify the data types. Then we have the patron table, the data. This is the data that you are supposed to key in. Then create a query to extract each of the following details: student number, student name, the game name for all students who reside in orange dormitory or play basketball. That is, save the query as orange Q. Then create a query to extract each of the following details: student number, student name, game name for student whose student name start with letter J. Save it as J query. Then create a tabular report showing student number, student name, dorm name, patron name, game name, and grouped by game name. This is the key point, grouped by game name. Save it as report game. Then format the report created as follows. Replace the report title with the text prayers for each game. Enter your name and index as report footer. Bold the dormitory name in the report, then print. Therefore, those are 50 marks. Therefore, let's go one on one and go through this paper. Therefore, the first point is to start by creating a database called School Games. And therefore, you right click on your desktop, then you go to New, then Folder. Then you rename the folder as your name, like now, WHI. Then you double click the folder. Then inside the white area, you right click, you go to New, then you launch Microsoft Access Database. Then you now rename School Games and mark you if you are using small letters, make it be small letter. This is practical. Practical must be exact. Therefore, you can't write School Games mixing the cases, uppercase, that is capitals and small. It must be exact. Therefore, after doing so, I have my 1 mark. I now double click the school game. Then once I double click, now I go straight to creating the tables. Therefore, we shall start by creating student table, and therefore you just go to enable macros there. Then you go to create, then table design. Now once you click on table design, you start now by typing. You start by typing the details of the students the way they are supposed to be. Therefore we have student, we have student number. Remember, if this one was capital, it must be capital. Student name, then we have game code, then we have DOM code that way. Then from here, you must know the primary key. This is student number. Spellings must be correct, and therefore this is how it should look like. Therefore, this is our student number. You right click, then set primary key. That is the primary key. Then from there, you press Ctrl S and save your table student. Then you click on OK. Then from there, you can now cross this one. Then go back to create, then table design. Now we can create the next table. Our next table is the patron table. It consists of patron code. Now make sure you write the correct spellings. Patron name, exactly the way it should be. Therefore, for this case, this is the primary key. Then we can press Ctrl S and then save it as patron. Then you click on OK. Then we can go on and create the next table. We go to create table design. Then we come to DOM code, then DOM name. Then we have patron code that way. Now since we had patron code on the other table, this one is referred as foreign key. You see the patron code on previous table, that is patron table, was the primary key. So when it comes to the next table, we refer that one as the foreign key, and therefore we shall not assign the key here. Therefore for this one, this is the primary key. Now in case this patron, that is DOM code repeats itself in another table, we shall refer it as foreign key. Therefore we carry on, we close this one, that is we save it. This is the dormitory. It is written that way. Therefore I close that one. Then I can go to the next table. Now the next table is the game table. Create table design. Then I can just come to this point, then have game code, then game name. We have game name like that. This is the primary key for that matter, and therefore I press Ctrl S. This is the games table. There is no need of writing the word table at the end. Then I just right click and cross. Once I cross, I am supposed now to go to the tables and key in the data now. Therefore we shall start keying data from students. We can double click the student table and then we start feeding the data exactly the way it looks like. Therefore you cannot actually type something different. Therefore we go on. This is Anne, these small letters, and she plays GM004. Then she resides in dormitory 003. The first and field patron, we have P001, we have P002, P003. Then the patron name, here we have Maurice. Then we have Edward. Then we have Jane. Then you can go ahead and go to dormitories. the dormitory code, we have D001, D001, D002, D003. Then we have dorm name, red, we have blue, we have orange. Now these ones are not capital letters. Orange, therefore it must be exact. Red, red is also small letters. Then we have the patron code P001, then P002, P003. P are they are actually capital letters. Then you can go to the game. A game code we have GM001. M is small letter. GM002. We have GM003. We have GM004. Then this is basketball. This is volleyball. This is table. Tennis. T is small for tennis. Then netball. Therefore, we have our tables now fed with data. Then from there, we can now go ahead and answer the next question. Now, so far, we are done with our 8 marks. 8, we haven't created a relationship. We have our 8 marks plus 9 because we have entered the data. Therefore, we have all these marks. We have this 9 plus the others. Therefore, from that point, we go ahead now and create a relationship and scoop these 3 marks. Therefore, to create a relationship, you just go to database tools, then you go to relationships. Now, once you go to relationship, you will get all your tables. You double click each at its own time that way. Then once you double click, you'll be in a position to see all your tables, and therefore we have our tables here. You can bring this here, that we just for clarity purposes, you can just bring them closer that way. Then you realize that all the fields that we set as primary key have a key symbol. This one, that is to tell you that that is the special key for that table and cannot have duplicates. Therefore, in case there is a field with duplicates, then that one cannot be a primary key. For that matter, we now go ahead and create the relationship, and therefore to create the relationship from here, we can have this one brought here. That one will be one-to-many relationship because that one they share the same. Then this game code can be brought to this one. That one will also give us a many-to-many relationship that way. Then we need to connect either of these. Therefore, we have the DOM code. You can bring the DOM code here. That one will bring us to many-to-many relationship. Therefore, we have created our relationship. We have scooped our 3 marks. Then you press Ctrl S or save. Therefore, for that case, this is the primary key. But for this matter here, it is the foreign key. Still, DOM code here is the primary key, but DOM code here is the foreign key. Patron code here is the primary key. Patron code here is the foreign key. Therefore, foreign key is the primary key referenced from another table. Simply as that. Therefore, we have got scooped our 3 marks, this one. Therefore, you can go on and on. Now, let's go to this. Create a form for each table that will be used to data entry. Now, for that case, if it is 2 marks, just use the wizard. Don't take so much time there. Just go to create. Then you can go to form wizard. Then we start with the student, send everything to the right. Next, finish. Then the wizard will create the form. That is a form. Don't bother much about it. Just then go again to create. Then form wizard. You choose the next table, games. Send everything there. Press finish. Again, go to create form wizard, choose the next table. The next table is dormitory. Send everything to the right, finish, cross. So we are actually going for 2 marks. Therefore, don't bother so much formatting them. Then we go to patron, send everything there, finish. Therefore, those are our forms. You can use these buttons down here to navigate. Then we have scoped our 2 marks. 9 marks, we also have that. Therefore, we go to the next one, create a query to extract each of the following details: student number, student name, game name for all students who reside in orange dormitory or play basketball. Therefore, this is criteria or 5 marks. Therefore, let's go and do that. Therefore, we are creating a query from student and games, these two. Therefore, go to create, then go to query design, have your tables. We are using games and student, those two. Then we need the game name, we need the student number, we need the student name. Those 3, don't add more than asked. Then we have been told these students should either reside in orange. Therefore, that means we have again to add dom name. Therefore, you right click. In case you had forgotten to add the table, then you click show table. Then now we can add dormitory. We have also seen dormitory name is required. Therefore, you double click. Therefore, these are the fields that are required. We have been told either the student resides in orange, so you go to criteria here and write orange, then or plays basketball. Therefore, the student here or plays basketball. You go to game name and write basketball that way. Therefore, it should be either of these. Then you save that one. You save it as small letters, orange Q, no capital letters. You will be penalized if you write capital letters. Therefore, it should be written that way. Then you can run and see. Therefore, you have been told, okay, for the game name, it is not working here. So you go back to this one, then go to criteria here. You use either of that. Therefore, let's see whether basketball alone will work. Yeah, therefore, but basketball is working. But we have been told it is either or who reside in orange dormitory or play basketball. Therefore, we can still go down here for this case and type basketball. Then here we type orange, that way. Then we run. Yeah, exactly. Therefore, you can see there is only one student who resides in orange and plays basket, that is Marion. That's what was supposed to be done. Therefore, you have seen what I have done. You go to criteria, you type the first quotation, you go to DOM name, you type the second quotation, then you run your query. Therefore, in Zoom, when I zoom in, this is what you have. Therefore, you see in the criteria field, this one, I have gone to game name, basketball, dormitory, orange, and then our query is orange Q, and it is in small letters. Then we proceed to the next question. Create a query to extract each of the following details: student number, student name, game name for student whose student name start with letter J. So you just go again, create, then query design. Now we need a student to use the student only. Student or the game, we're also using the game, but we are not using the dormitory this time around. So we just have these ones. Therefore, we have game name, student number, student name, and those are the fields required. But the student name should start with the letter J. You usually go to the criteria, you go up to where the name is. Here starts with J. Therefore, the name should start with J. You just put J and star asterisk. This is called asterisk. Then you can run and see. You see now it has produced all students whose names start with J. Therefore, you just do that way. You just type J and then star. Then we save that one. We have been told to save it as J. J is capital, J query. Therefore, don't write J query or in capital or all in small letters. You lose marks. Therefore, you write exactly. This is practical. Then after doing that, you can see it from long range. That's how it looks like. Then we have our two queries. Then we can go to part D of our question. Create a tabular report showing, now mark the word tabular, not columnar. Therefore, create a tabular report showing student number, student name, dorm name, this, grouped by, that's why there is a lot of marks, grouped by game name. Therefore, we go and do that. Therefore, we go to create. Then we have been taught to create, we have, in short, we are supposed to start by creating a query which will combine all those fields. So we go to create query design. Now what do we need? Therefore, first of all, we can double click for our tables to appear here. These are our tables. Then we go step by step. We are required to have student number, student name, dorm name. You go to dorm name, patron name. You go to patron name. Then game name again. Game name. Yeah, that way. Therefore, if you run, you see now we have student number, student name, dorm name, patron name, game name. So we can now save it. We can just save it as report game, because we shall actually use it to create our report. So we now go to our report. Here you can either use design view or wizard, but I will use report design. Therefore, you click on report design. Then you go to this point here, properties. When you are in properties, you make sure that at this point it reads report. At this point it is at all. Then you can see record source. Now you target your query. Our query is report game. Then you cross this. Now once you cross, we have used this. We have gone to properties, then gone this way. But this time around, you go to add existing feeds. These are our feeds. And since we want to create a tabular report, you now drag and drop. Therefore, you drag that way. You drag. Then you can click this one and bring this. This one should be at the top here. This one should remain down here. Now, in case it seems disturbing, you cut Control X, then you paste up here. Then you arrange that one to that point. Then bring the next one. You cut this. The one on your left is called a label. You click, then you cut. Right click, cut. Right click up, paste. That is at that point. Then you can go next to the next one. Student name, it is just one name, so we don't need a very large text box. Then you go dorm name, do the same. Right click this, cut. Right click, paste. Then bring it there. Then take that one to that point. Then patron name, right click this, cut. Right click up here, paste. Then drag and drop. Then bring this up there. Then game name, right click on this one, cut, right click, paste. Then bring it here, then bring the game name there. Then you need to scroll down. This part here, page footer, must be dragged up, and it should look like that. Must be dragged and make sure it touches the bottom of your labels there. Therefore, I can now click on save and save my report in small letters. Report game. Remember, in practicals, you'll be penalized for uppercase or lowercase. If it is uppercase, uppercase. If it is lowercase, lowercase. If it is mixed, it is mixed. No praying about. Then after doing that, you can run our report. You can see how our report looks like. It is a table, and that's why it is tabular. Then from there, we go on. In case I need to do some editing, I just right click, then go to design view. I'm taken back to where I came from. So now I can carry on. Let's carry on to the next question. Now I have my 8 marks. Sorry, we haven't done this. Grouped by game name. So we go back. Then there is this icon here. There is when your report is in design view. Mark my words. When your report is in design view, you cannot see that this button when you are not in design view. So it is called group and sort, and the examiner is telling us grouped by name. So you click, then you come down here, you will get this part here. Therefore you come and click add group, then we are sorting by group name. There we are, simple as that. Therefore the examiner will only check here and award you marks. Next time, you will be told to group by name in either ascending or descending order. Therefore, we have now done that. So we can just go and view. You'll get that something has happened. A very nice stuff has happened. Game name, basketball together, netball together, tennis together. Let me zoom in so that you can see from distance, long range. Therefore, this is what has happened. We have grouped according to game name. So volleyball together, tennis together, netball together, basketball together, and that's why the examiner awarded a lot of marks. 8 marks is a lot of marks. That's why the examiner did so. Then we go to our second last part. Format the report created in one as follows. Replace the report title with prayers for each game, small letters, prayers for each game. So we go and do that. You right click, go to design view, then you go to this part here, report title. You click on label, not a B, a. This one's the label. Then you type the report header here. It is prayers for each game. That's why what it's called. Then enter your name and index as report footer. Bold the dormitory names in the report. Therefore, dormitory name, where are the dormitory names? Dormitory name, this one, you bold. Therefore, you go to format, then bold. Simple as that. This one, bold. Then enter your name and index number as the report footer. This is okay, we're talking of report footer, not the page footer. Therefore, you right click, make sure you have the report footer. Yeah, report footer. Therefore, you put it in the report footer. Just go to design label, then you put it here in the report footer. You have seen what I have done. Just right click, then select report footer. Therefore, my index number, I put my index number there, add my name, Don Gichai. Then I'm done. Then can now just save and run my report. Therefore, you can see it is appear somewhere here, and everything players for each game. And let's see, is there anything we have left? Therefore, so far we have 43 out of 50 marks. We are only left by now printing. Print this one, printing, these are free marks. If you scored everything up there, then these are free marks. Therefore, to print, Like now this report, you just go to File, then Print. But now I don't have any printer connected. I would have just pressed Print, and then I get my printouts from the paper. Therefore, let's go on and tackle the second question. Now, the second question is open a word processing program and key in the following text as it appears. Save the document as social network. Now, this is small letters. Don't mix cases. Then, you are supposed to type the document as it appears. That means there is no compromising. If it is right aligned, it is right aligned. If it is centered, it is centered. Therefore, let's go ahead and do this one. Therefore, we close our Kcse program. In the same folder, this is my folder. I double click. I have already my first file, 50 out of 50 marks. Therefore, now I right click. I go to new. Then I now open Microsoft Word document. Then I am supposed to save it exactly as I have been asked. Social network. That way. Therefore, you can see what I have done. Therefore, I have scored now my 2 marks for renaming because I have renamed in the correct part. Then from there, I now launch my Microsoft Word program, and then I start now typing the document exactly as it appears. Therefore, this is our social networking. Then we can now type platforms used by organizations. Therefore, after finishing typing, you can spell check. But if you get a spelling mistake like this one, and it is not the way the paper looks like, then just ignore. Otherwise, it will be penalized. You see, well defined. It is looks like that, but this one then activity that is not activity that. Okay, that one is okay. Then from here, look at how the paper looks like. Therefore, we have to format the paper. Remember, we have been told text as it appears. So we have to put the bullets, different bullets here. Then do the other bit. Therefore, we go on and do that. First of all, we highlight everything. We change this to Times New Roman, because if you look at the way it looks like there, it is Times New Roman. Then after doing that, we make this one, or probably it can, the way it can be, since the examiner didn't actually say, you can try also area and see. Area, it's area. Yeah, also that one looks exactly. Then I write this, make it bold. Then advantages is bold, but the best thing to do after now typing that and saving is to go to the question paper, then follow the instructions that are here. Therefore, now we are here. Format the document as follows: title, font size 18 points, font color red. Therefore, we just go and obey the instructions, and should be Tahoma. Therefore, we go to this point. At this point, we type Tahoma. Therefore, it is Tahoma. It should be 18 points. So you type 18 here. It should be like that, and should be red in color. Just choose the color here, or more colors. Therefore, we want red. Is that one really red? This is red. That way. Then 3 marks, that is 3 marks. Then you carry on, apply double line spacing for the text under the subtitle title advantages. Therefore, you highlight the advantages. Then you apply double spacing. You go to this point. Double spacing means 2. Therefore, you put double spacing. Then the next one is apply a 4-line drop cap on the first letter of the first paragraph. Therefore, you go and highlight this S, then go to insert, then drop cap. The drop cap is here. Then you go to drop cap options. You have been told to have 4 lines of drop cap. Therefore, you just choose lines to drop. Here, lines to drop, we need 4. Therefore, you have chosen this, then 4. Then from there, you just click on OK. Then you can zoom out. Therefore, that's what we have. Then the next part is apply a 2 columns format with a line between for the text with the 2 subtitles such that the advantages are to the left column and disadvantages are onto the right column. Therefore, and it should be a 2 column. So you need to highlight this all the way up to where disadvantages are, up to that point. Then you go to where the columns are layout. Then we are applying 2 columns. Then we have been told all advantages to be on the left. Advantages to be to the left. So what you do, you just come to this point. Up to that point, you press Control Shift Enter. Control Shift Enter. You just press that. Don't forget that one. Therefore, don't forget, mark this. You mark whatever I have said. You press Shift plus Alt plus Enter. This is after you have assigned the columns. Therefore, you press those buttons. That's what I have done, so that I can be in a position to have that one accomplished. This to get these 4 marks. Therefore, you have seen mine is exact. Advantages to the left. Then I needed to assign a line here. Therefore, I was supposed to go to this point, up to that point. Then I go to again this point here, more column options. Then you have a line between that way. If we just go to columns, then more columns, you tick this line between. Make sure you tick this line between so that a line can appear here. Therefore, you have seen that I am answering the question. I need to get an A. Then apply bold, italics, and underline to subtitles, advantages and disadvantages. So I go to advantages, bold, italic, underline, all of them. Therefore, bold, italics, underline. Therefore, that one is done. Then I go ahead, apply the following format. Apply the following format to the document. Insert a watermark with the text social media on the document of font size 20, diagonally. Therefore, you go and do that. We go to where we need to have design. Then you go to design, but it depends with the office you are using. This is Office 2019. Therefore, if you are using the earlier versions, you might probably go to insert, then background. Therefore, this is design, then watermark. Now, once you go to watermark, you go to custom watermark, then you go to text watermark. Therefore, we have been told to have font size 20 size, so I choose size 20. I type 20, then I type whatever I'm being told here. Social media, small letters, social media, that way. Then it should be diagonal, it's not horizontal, running from left to right. Yeah, good. Then cross. Therefore, you can see it is running from left to right. Social media size 20. Therefore, this is the watermark. You can see the watermark. This is the watermark here. Social media. That's what the examiner has told me to do. Then from there, I go to my last part of that session. Insert the text social networks as header, aligned to the right. Apply italics. Therefore, I go to the header here. I double click. Once I double click, I go home, and then I've been told should be right aligned. So I click right aligned. Then now I type social networks as the header, and then I apply italics. There we are. Therefore, we have our work done. Therefore, that one is done, that part. Therefore, I can go to the next last session. The following is a letter from a principal of Marimari School, to other principals, inviting them for a seminar at the county education offices. Open a new document and create the following as it appears. Save the document as Marimari. So we go ahead and do the same. Therefore, I close this. We minimize this. We go again to our document. We right click. We go to new. Then we go to Microsoft Word document. Then you save this one as Mari, small letters, Mari. Save the document as Mari. Then we open Mari and then type our letter. Therefore, the principal. Then we have dear sir. Then reference. We have the reference. Seminar meeting. You are invited to attend principal's seminar, which scheduled to be at the county education office on the 2nd of June 2015. You are booked to be in. Then we are looking forward to a successful event. Was Irango Jotema. Therefore, we have typed that. This is principles. As I say, Then this one is bold and capital letters. If I can change it to capital uppercase, then we can now go to we save that. Then we go to our question. Therefore, we have now typed using a mail merge feature. Using a mail merge feature to generate customized mails for the addresses shown in the following table. Save the merged document as A letters, 9.5 marks. So we go and do that. Therefore, we shall create this one. Therefore, first of all, this our letter is okay. So we are supposed now to, this is go to this, we save this, we cross the, okay, we can just minimize. Then we open another Word document, right click, new, then Word document. Now this Word document of ours should be renamed as A letters. Therefore, A letters. Make sure you are following what I'm doing. Spellings must be correct. Then I'm supposed to insert a table with 2 columns. Insert table. Then I go to insert. Columns are 2 and 4 rows. 4 rows that way. Therefore, I'm actually creating this. It has 2 columns and 4 rows. Therefore, I now type school, then room. Then we have Inga school. We have room B school. Then we have trans school. Now this one is booked for room 6. This is booked for room 8. This one is booked for room 10. If I save this, then this one should be bold according to the paper. Then I can now cross that one. Therefore, we have Giga school room 6, room B schools room 8, trans school room 10. Now, after that, therefore, we can just rename this one as addresses, because the combination of Mari and addresses should be saved as a letter. Therefore, after that, we go to the simplest part of mail merge. Therefore, what you do, you just go to mailings. Then, once you go to mailings, you go to this point, select, therefore you go to mailings, then you go to this point, select recipients, then choose use an existing list because you already have one, and go to desktop, go to Don Gichai, then choose addresses. Now once you do that, you see these ones have become active. Then go to this point now, you insert the missing information. Therefore, just select school, print school that way. Therefore, you have now inserted this. Just make it red. Then you are invited to attend. You are booked in room up there. At this point, you just go to insert, then room. Therefore, we are inserting our room. Yeah. Then after doing that, you just go to this point, last point, finish merge, then edit individual letters. On this dialog box, you choose all, then OK. Therefore, we are done. Therefore, the first guy is the principal Giga school, room 6. Then I can zoom out. Then we scroll. The next person is principal room B school, room 8. The next one is principal trans school, room 10. And if you follow the paper, that is exactly. Therefore, we have our marks. Then we can look at the last point. Print out each of the following. That is A letter, Mari, and social whatever. Therefore, if it is this one I just need to go to File. Then we are actually saving it in our desktop inside Kcse. Therefore, you're saving this one as a letters that way, so that our folder should have. Therefore, to print this, you just go to File, then Print. Therefore, if I'm connected to the printer, you can see I'm not connected to any printer. I would have just pressed print, and that way I would have scored 100 out of 100%. That is in Kcse 2018. Therefore, thank you very much for watching. Keep on tuned, keep on checking. Next, I will be doing Kcse 2017 practical. Therefore, don't miss out. And then these documents that I have used, I will upload them in my website. You can get them in my website. You can get this one plus this question paper here.